If your favorite number is 75, then you're gonna love who we got on next. Live Free and Ham. Hello and welcome to Live Free and Ham podcast. This is our weekly show where we discuss ham radio topics in New Hampshire, New England, in Florida, and beyond. We're thrilled to have you here. So whether you're a regular listener or tuning in for the first time, thanks again for joining us and hanging out with us tonight. So let's get this show on the road. I'm your host, Eric, call sign N1JUR, and I'm with my co-hosts.
Paul, N1OG.
Todd, W1STJ.
And we have a special guest.
Hey everybody, my name's Ziggy and I'm the 75 ohm ham.
There we go. All right, cool. We're going to get into more of that in a bit, so sit tight, but we'll go through our regular usuals here. So as always, you can connect with us in a number of different wonderful ways. You can always head over to our Discord, and you can visit that over at the Live Free and Ham. Discord link is in all our show notes and description down below. You can always leave us a voicemail. If you got a question, maybe you've been racking your brain, you need some help, feel free. You can dial us up at 978-233-1142. And as Paul always says, you can always call us for a good time. And we got a new way to communicate with us and hang out with the rest of the community. You can do us that over on our All-Star node. That's 580-871. So check us out there. And as always, if you want to help support the show, you can visit our storefront at livefreeandham.com/shop or become a Patreon member. And all our Patreon members get some pretty slick stuff. They get to be part of this private live stream during our regular recording sessions. They get a bunch of discounts, merch, access to our private podcast, and much, much more. So if you want to help support the show, head on over. Our links are all on our websites and in our Discord, in our description. So click on that and become one of the cool folks. So, and as always, Bob always says,
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
that's what he says. That's what Bob has asked.
You can join for as little as $3 a month. It's not a big expense.
Now he's going to expect that every week. You know that, Paul. All right. Well, so with that, let's get into our first section here. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Everybody, we got some news.
Slow down, Boog. Let me handle this. We've got some news. I've got bad news and bad news.
I have reviewed ship's personnel, Captain.
Congratulations, you've got mail.
All right. Well, we do have a couple of win links in the mailbag this week, and I will pass that lovingly over to Grouch there. Go ahead and let us know who's banging on our door.
All right. Well, the first one comes from Whiskey 1 Sierra Alpha Bravo, and he sends an email with the subject line, "Hi, sent from APRS on my FTM 300D."
Wow.
And the message says, "Happy WinLink Wednesday. I hope this worked." And then we've got the APRS link data that added to the bottom of the email, so it did work.
That was Sean. And man, if he had to type that out on his screen on APRS, man, I'd give him
that probably took an hour.
That took about an hour and a half to type that whole entire message, man. I give you the credit and the patience of a saint if you did that.
One day we'll get a keyboard when the technology's right.
Oh my gosh, yeah, when we don't need keyboards and they can do AI or basically speak into the radio.
We'll have a USB-C port.
Hopefully one day. And we got one more there, right?
Yeah, we got one more. So the second one comes from N2MAK, and he writes, subject, "I have an idea." And the message is, "Hi, Paul, Eric, Todd, and the Live Free and Ham fam. I had a thought the other day, and it seems your mailbag has been rather empty lately, so here it goes. What if the FCC offered an enhanced license that would be an upgrade from an extra? There'd be a test, and I'd even be fine with an additional charge for it. Enhanced privileges would allow hams to modify and use amateur radio gear for CB, GMRS, MURS, FRS, Marine, and any other similar category that I might be forgetting. They would still need to remain within the rules for power, frequency, modes, bandwidth, spurious emissions, etc. I think that this would be a very practical change, since many radios are capable of transmitting on these bands. A Baofeng on a boat is a perfect example. It'd be very useful for marine frequencies, but if it goes overboard, it's just $20. On the advice of counsel, I cannot elaborate further. This enhanced license could encourage more use of other services like GMRS and CB. It could possibly generate more interest in amateur radio by users of those services. A new license would definitely be more money for the government, and I'm sure it would lead to more sales and innovation in the industry for radios, antennas, and more. Anyways, there you go. Keep up the great work on the podcast and YouTube channels. 73 Mike N2MAK. P.S. Sent with Mobi-linked TNC4 and a Baofeng UV5R Mini that has been tested and is fully in compliance.
Which is at the bottom of a lake right now, but oh, Mike, that's so packed.
Very passionate.
Very. I think he has too much time on his hands at this moment. We need to make sure he's doing something different with his time. And you did mention FCC and tests, which I could sense the tension over where Todd's sitting because he's already, tired of the testing part. Why would he want to take one more test to be able to have access to more bands?
Yeah, but don't you have, anyone has access to those bands he was asking about?
Not the GMRS unless you have a GMRS license, technically.
Yeah, which if I wanted one of those, I just pay $75, right? Why would you have
30,
to take?
yeah.
Why would you have to take a test to get stuff that you can already get without taking a test?
That's not the point. The point is to use hardware not licensed for that band.
Yeah. So modifying radios at that, you can't do that with GMRS or anything.
Legally use your wide modded 2-meter mobile on GMRS like we all do.
Or like the CB guys do, yeah. Without their amplifiers. So, yeah, he was just saying test equals more capabilities hardware-wise. So, which, I don't know. I like my extra band right now. All right.
If they did do it, I mean, all the extras, probably more than half would probably do it.
Well, but would that bring... I don't know. Would it allow for those that have existing GMRS licenses to feel like they can just step over into that space anyway without having to be tested? I mean, what stops them from doing it now per se, except unless they were hunted for it? But
well, I mean, they're just bound to type acceptant hardware, and that that's the only difference. So
yeah.
Yeah, so you just have two different kind of GMRS people.
Well, if we're going to do that, I think we should have a rule that if you're using a Baofeng or a Quansheng, you're only limited to certain frequencies.
Well, if you're going to modify it, it doesn't really matter. Then you can do whatever you want to it and make it a better radio.
Those radios are they're just hurt. They're killing me. I listen on the repeaters and I'm like, holy crap. Dude, just go out and buy a regular radio. Your $20 radio is making my ears hurt. And I'm even trying to squelch them out.
It's got to be, it's a double edge, right? It gets the most hands on the air every year after year.
It does. It's definitely a stepping stone for radios. And I know there are a few that hold on to that forever, but that's totally fine.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people out, at least in our area, that they buy the Quansheng and they get every model of it, and they have no intention of moving to a better radio to get to sound better or anything. It's they just buy more $20 radios.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. And then there's some people that have handy-talkie addictions. You've met these people, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They got hundreds of them.
I know a guy over here. He's got 47. I think he said his count. And I'm like, so when are we taking that general test, buddy? Because you could have bought 4 7300s at this point. No joke.
HTA. I didn't know that was a disease. We'll have to make sure we prominently start educating folks on it.
Handy Talkies Anonymous.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Hi, my name's Ziggy, and I like Radio Oddity.
Quan Chang is my middle name. Sorry, my parents wanted me to be named after a radio. All right, well, Mike, interesting suggestion. We will put a pin in it for now and get back to it maybe a little later. But heck, if you want to explore it more on your channel, let us know. We'll come over and hang out with you and razz you a little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, exactly right. We'll work them down to bare minimum there, least common denominator. All right. So, any more in the mailbag there, my friend?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for sending us the WinLink Wednesdays emails as well. We haven't actually heard from Chris at all. You must have missed the usual Wednesday. He was on a pretty good clip there. KD9 YSW. No. YSW, there you go. Yeah, so he must be head down working hard there. So, yeah, keep them coming, and we always enjoy them. They're definitely interesting, and we love sharing them with everybody. So with that, we're going to dive into the next section here that we missed last week. Oh, wrong button. Got to do the intro.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
And now, a little something extra with Todd, W1STJ.
Still a general.
Well, you've heard it here. This is where we help Todd study for that extra class license. So you can always follow along by visiting hamstudy.org, because that's an awesome resource and it's great to helping you prepare for your test, and is recommended by four VEs on any day, including Sunday. So with that, pass it out to our VE quizmaster here. Take it away, Paul. And welcome back.
All right. Thanks. I'm glad to not be the one having computer issues
this week. Yep. All right.
So question number 1 for this evening, Todd, comes from sub-element number 2. And the question is, why should effective radiated power, ERP, be limited to a satellite that uses a linear transponder? Is it A, to prevent creating errors in the satellite telemetry? B, to avoid interfering with terrestrial QSOs? C, to prevent the satellite from emitting out-of-band signals? Or is it D, to avoid reducing the downlink power to all other users?
Feel free to jump in after Todd answers Ziggy. Ooh. We should note that this question does not look like it's a diagram, and it is not a circuit.
Yeah. Yeah, after I've been studying those for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
He changes them.
He didn't change it. They're randomly.
I don't believe it.
It's all AI. They're listening. They're watching.
Geez, I don't remember this one. I'm going to go with... Yeah, I'll do C.
Oh, I'm a D man, for sure. But Ziggy, you want to chime in there, man?
So C and D, right? Satellites, my favorite topic. I would say the biggest thing that's standing out for me right now is to avoid interfering with terrestrial QSOs. Right? We don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So.
Well, Todd said C. C is incorrect. Eric said D. And D is correct.
Always a downlink.
Hey.
Yes.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, yeah, to everybody else. So I guess that's kind of almost the same thing.
Yeah, linear and FM are big on downlinks.
Yeah. So to share some further information, satellite transponders are power sharing. If one signal received at the satellite is stronger than the others, then all other retransmitted signals will get a smaller portion of the available power. When a satellite receives a very strong signal, its automatic gain control, AGC, sets the received threshold to the level of that signal, and consequently, other weaker signals will not be heard. So your memory aid is associate linear with downlink and limited with reducing. I don't know. Hopefully that helps you.
Cool.
All right. Question number 2 comes from subelement number 9. The question is, what challenge is presented by a small wire loop antenna for direction finding? Is it A, it is practical for use only on VHF and higher bands? B, all of these choices are correct. C, it has a bidirectional null pattern. Or D, it does not have a clearly defined null.
Ooh.
Like, I don't think it can be all of them, because if it has a bidirectional null pattern and D says it does not have a clearly defined null, how can that be the same?
Aha!
Aha!
Distractors.
That's called critical thinking, Todd. Congratulations.
I'm going to go with D.
I'm a C man. I'm C.
I know from experience because I have one. I'm voting for C.
Yeah, it's definitely the null.
All right. Well, Todd said D, and D is incorrect. All right. C is the correct one. Yes, it has a bidirectional null pattern. So, some further explanation. A wire loop antenna is symmetric, and therefore its pattern is the same along the planes of symmetry. A resonant loop antenna, being one wavelength, has gain at right angles to the plane of the loop, broadside. That is, the flat sides of the antenna are sensitive, and there are nulls near the edges. This provides ambiguity as to the direction the signal is coming from. Loop antennas are still great, though, because they're very easy gain antenna to construct. As the loop gets smaller than resonance, things change. Small loop antennas, less than 1/10 of wavelength, become sensitive on the edges and reject signals at right angles to the plane of the loop, being broadside. In either case, the pattern is bidirectional. So with a pair of peaks on opposite sides of the antenna and a pair of nulls on opposite sides of the antenna. And I actually got some firsthand experience. I had never seen a loop antenna in action. And Ziggy busted one out, put it in the backyard.
And we played with it for about 10 minutes and moved on.
Yep.
That which usually happens with a lot of loops.
So I've got this great business idea, right? It's so if you ever lose your mind and you want to be a loop guy for some reason, my company is going to let you rent a loop for a weekend. And then on Monday morning, you can, with the prepaid packaging label, you can box it up and ship it right back. Because they're expensive, right? They're like at least $400 or $500 for a mediocre one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it comes with a whole box full of paint and a manual that's written like
loopsforaweekend.com. I'm telling you.
There we go, dude. That's pretty good. Yeah. In fact, you probably will get paid extra for people to actually ship it back to you. All right.
Well, here we go with the third and final question of the evening. Todd, this one comes from subelement number 8. The question is, what is the modulation index of an FM signal? You've had this before.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is it A, the ratio of modulating signal amplitude to frequency deviation? B, the modulating signal frequency divided by the bandwidth of the transmitted signal? C, the ratio of frequency deviation to modulating signal frequency? Or is it D, the bandwidth of the transmitted signal divided by the modulating signal frequency?
Oh, man, I even forgot this one. Ratio, deviation. Man. phone a friend.
Yeah. Bandwidth. I'm gonna go with D.
Yeah, man, I can't remember if it's A or B because I don't think it's C. I don't know. I'll go with B. I mean, Ziggy probably knows this one.
I'm gonna pass because I wasn't paying attention. I want to hold you up.
I like that excuse.
Good, right?
All right. So I will tell you that I remembered the hint for this, and that is the only reason why I remembered which is the correct answer. So, Todd, what did you say your answer was again?
D.
David. You said D.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure we were clear on that. All right. And D is incorrect.
Was it B or C?
The
I knew it was that one.
C. And it's the one that has frequency twice.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yes, the stupid. I hated that clue. Oh, that one's me. That's why I forgot it. That's the one where they say 2 times or 2 2 2s or whatever it is.
Right.
No, is that? Yeah. Oh, the frequency twice. Yeah. No, it wasn't the 2 2 2 one. That was the other
frequency modulation. Correct. The correct answer refers to frequency twice, whereas all of the incorrect only mention it once.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I just want to know. It's so random. For like the last 6 months, we've been on 5 and 6, and then now we've just jumped all over the place.
I know. Well, it's watching you.
I don't buy it. I think Paul's fucking with it. I think he's picking. He's turning them off and on.
All right. Well, we know what that brings to the table then.
Todd got 0 right.
But I got 2 out of 3.
No, you didn't.
I did. I got the first 2 right.
No, you didn't.
I will go back and watch the video. I have got my log down here. It says 2 out of 3. All right. Well, as we all know, that is just in case you are studying for your Technician General or Extra Class license, trust us that Todd is helping you get closer to getting your ticket by testing every week. But in essence, if you've maybe passed your license, and I know there's a lot of new hams finally getting their call signs. It's good to see. Hearing a lot of new call signs out there. They're all starting KC1, or at least up here in the 1, call zone Y something. So it's good to see that. Send us an email. We want to recognize you, say hello, and continue to keep you encouraged in the hobby. So with that, you can always email us at liftfreeandham@gmail.com or hit us up on our Discord. And we'd love to hear. So with that, we're going to get into our usual. But you got something. Go.
Hold on. We got to.
Oh, we do. Oh, sorry. I just assumed. I didn't know you were prepared that much. Excellent. Go.
No, so I mean, it'll take me a second to switch between screens here, but congratulations to Kilo Charlie 1, Yankee Mike Golf, Annie, who tested at Nearfest, right?
Yep, correct.
So she got her call. And then from our session in October, we got
Donovan, right?
We got a new extra class operator, and he elected to receive a new call sign with his upgrade. So John Wood, Alpha Charlie 1, Victor Alpha.
Oh. VE. Oh, no, Victor Alpha, sorry. VA. I can't get my letters right.
Close enough. Well, it was a vowel.
Yeah, true. Right. Vanna. Give me, so Donovan got his call too, right? He was that new technician.
So Donovan should have gotten his call today, but I didn't get the email. I'm sorry. It's Sunday. He won't get it till tomorrow.
Got it.
Yeah, because he got the email to submit payment on Friday.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've talked to like 3 different guys, all with new call signs, and all you know who they are because you hear them on the repeaters, and they're like a teenage boy cracking his voice for the first time kind of conversations. You just know who they are, and you're like, they just put their call out there, and you're like, oh, please don't respond, but please respond, please. And so
I hope
always
nobody
fun.
hears me.
Exactly.
CQ.
No CQs, thank you.
CQ.
But, Charlie Quebec.
Anyone? So yeah, no, it's good to hear them. It's awesome. I'm super excited to see more people on the air for sure. So, all right. Well, with that, let's get into that usual ham radio week. We'll start with Ziggy there. How's your ham radio week going this week, and what's been going on?
Oh, the big loop is haunting me at night. So I have a full wave, 80-meter loop. So it's almost 300 feet long. It's
Holy
in
moly.
a delta. It's in a delta, right?
Oh.
I'm going to be building. I don't know if I've told you this, but I build transformers like all the time. Like, here's my new thing I'm doing for Christmas this year for my buddies. Little
Cool.
4-to-1 Christmas ornaments. So
nice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I have held that in my hand, and holding it in your hand is very different than seeing it on the video.
Oh, it feels very, very nice, actually.
It is very nice. Yeah,
very nice.
And
but
then the radials, a little push it, a little subwoofer connector for the radial connection.
Will the regular tree brow support that? Or does it have to be a certain dimension?
I mean, if it's a Florida tree, maybe.
Okay, well, up here in New England, we a lot of pines, a lot of firs, so the boughs aren't that great.
Right.
Yeah, well, just don't hang it on the end, the very end of the branch. Like just put it in a little.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I want it displayed in the middle. Can you make it glow? Actually, if you put power through it, you probably could.
So I've done this right. I've wrapped up a choke, and you can do this at home, guys. I did 10 wraps of really fine magnet wire, and on the two leads, I just soldered an LED to it, and
cool.
And it was just a choke, and I was rocking some 75 meters. And I didn't even think that this would work, but the damn LED started lighting up when I was talking, and I was like, common mode. There it is. I found it. So I made a little common mode indicator.
That's awesome. Josh does Christmas lights. You just go right to the core. Let's tune the tree up.
If it's wet, I'll put some RF in
it. So you're basically a saltwater base for your tree. You fill the bottom of the base until totally saltwater, kill the tree, but
doesn't last. But
it'll tune up quick.
Just get one afternoon with it, and that's all you get.
I wonder how Sprite would be. Would that be a good base? Is that salty? Well, it's sugary, so maybe not. But
right.
Very cool. Well, Christmas ornaments are obviously on the plate there. Anything else going on?
Just got to get so the big loop is not wire. It is made, the radiating element is the shield of a 75 ohm length of continuous 75 ohm coax. So I have so much of it because people, all my subscribers, think that I breathe this stuff. So I get boxes of it all the time in the mail, and I really appreciate it, but I'm swimming in coax. So I thought that would be a great, instead of wire, I could just use, the actual coax itself. So it's made, and then also the loop has massive plastic, like 4-inch pulleys. And I have a rope on my feed line, and I can drag the feed line, and I can rotate the entire loop.
What?
On its within the delta, right? And then what this does is it, minus the fundamental on the higher bands where we have lobes, I can actually turn the direction of my radiation.
So you literally made it almost a Yagi directional antenna, pretty much.
I can make a loop rotate in free space, and I can change the radiation pattern and where it's going all over planet Earth. Just by going out there and tugging on a rope hanging from the tree.
And it's only, 300 feet?
I don't remember. It's like 287.
Oh,
Who's
okay.
counting?
Give or take.
Who's counting?
Oh, man. Well, dude, that sounds awesome. And I'm looking forward to more, obviously, 75 ohm discussions and antennas and stuff like that. So we'll put a pin on that for right now. But with that, over to you, Mr. Grouch. How has your ham radio week been? Or not?
Well, no. So Wednesday, after I was done in the hangar, I came and I sat down in the shack to do a Zoom conference call with New Hampshire and Vermont VE team leads that have been reluctant to make the migration to exam tools, and they were very curious as to how I went about migrating our club from the old school paper and the blue punch sheets to exam tool paper tests for in-person sessions.
Right.
So I gave them a quick walkthrough on exam tools and the back side of the house and how to set up their team and add people to their team and create sessions and all of that, how to print exams. And,
wow.
So I mean, I did something that was good ham radio for the week.
That's cool. That's cool. And were they receptive to it enough? I mean, like they gonna be making changes, or they just kind of like give you lip service? I mean, obviously not.
No. I mean, so everybody have to make a change, right?
Oh, right. That's mandatory. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it was supposed to have been done, I think, by July of this year. So they're I guess they've got till the first of the year to fully transition. And, they were all very, very pleased and appreciative that I was willing to take the time to walk them through it. Nice. I gave them all the important links, so hopefully they don't struggle too hard.
Well, I'm sure they'll have their own pitfalls and bumps in the road trying to adapt it to their current process, because that process. I was so glad to give Ryan all of the checks and everything and say, you will never have to deal with this again.
Yeah, all digital now, baby.
Yeah, good thing, man. Finally, yeah, it's good to see they're coming lockstep with that, and hopefully there'll be a lot more, and we won't have to worry about whether there's in-person testing at all. Well, I mean, not that it matters, but it'll make things much faster.
Well, and it also gives us as a club the ability to go from quarterly sessions to monthly sessions without putting a big burden on our VEs.
Exactly.
And we've already got one signed up for our December session. So
yeah, I did see that. So I mean, that should be easy. And I've been pushing hard to get folks. I don't know if you got any more new people coming your way, but I've been encouraging folks, if they haven't thought about making the leap to being VEs, to start doing that process. So hopefully we'll have a lot more in our ranks.
Yeah, it's not that hard to become a VE, and it's a really rewarding volunteer thing to do. So
yeah, very much so, man. Took me a little bit, but finally got it all sorted out, and glad I did. Todd, how was your ham radio week, sir? Or no audio. We don't hear your audio. We see you speaking, but no audio.
Did your mic come unplugged?
Oh, we hear a little clicking. Clicking? No audio.
And just when we thought we had all the bugs ironed out.
The bugs worked out. That's all right. You might have to pop back out and pop back in. So give that a shot, because your audio is not skipping around. So, all right. Well, I'll do my ham radio week while Todd's busy working with the technology.
Hey, Eric, how was your ham radio week, brother?
Not too bad. I didn't get a chance to do a whole lot of, we'll say, personal ham radio and getting out to do POTA, or Ted's dying. No, sorry. Sorry. Ziggy's dying. Anyway, there we go. You back in? Nope, not yet. Almost. You were there and you're gone. Nope. We hear the sigh.
You hear me?
Nope. Yeah, and then you go away. We say hear you. All we say is hear you, and then you go away.
If you got the power station, you can go ahead and crank it up.
More power. Yeah, so I'll finish up, and then Todd, if you're back there, just give it a shout. I didn't spend a whole lot of time. I was going to try to get some POTAs in this week, but I just had so much work, sucking up my time, that I at least got a chance to spend some time talking to some new hams on some of the local repeaters, and we're getting prepared with our club to do another 4-H event, but at the Kristen McAuliffe Center. And the good news is, and I didn't even know it, is that apparently there's one of our local clubs down here actually have a ham radio station at the Kristen McAuliffe Center. Did you know that, Paul, at all? There was an actual station?
Yeah, so I had heard years ago that there was a station there. I didn't know who ran it, but the planetarium's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really cool place. So they've got like a wheel out station. They've got a couple of beams, a couple of wire antennas. They're pretty much all decked out. So we're going to be having some fun there, and we'll be doing a lot of hands-on demos with kids, between 6 and 12 with talk on a repeater and CW and everything else in between. So looking forward to do that sometime in December. And at that point, Shack Roast will pretty much be coming up soon. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be really fun. And hopefully we'll get more entrants because people apparently are so freaking busy.
I will get my entry in.
It's not like you have to develop the photos, but whatever. So yeah, outside of that, you're still nope, still bitsy. Okay, we'll hold. All right. Well, while Todd's working technical difficulties there, we'll dive into here. Ooh, Ziggy's already prepared, my friend. So, yeah, let's do a little bit of a quick introduction here. So, Ziggy has come on tonight to talk coax and antennas and share his wealth of knowledge with us. But Ziggy, I'll give you the floor. So give a little background for those that might not know you and haven't seen you on other shows like Coffee and Ham Radios and the like. And then we'll you guide the conversation. Tell us what cool things we can dive into.
So I called myself a feral ham, right, earlier.
Right.
In the way that I taught myself and got myself into the world of RF. And the book, reading anything out of a book came much later. And in fact, I had this very fast grasp on how RF likes to act, right? It's understanding, how do you explain it? Understanding how things will want to act is worth way more than being able to run a math calculation. So I was just a very different ham from what I understand from the rest of history, how hamage gets taught. And because I was young at the hobby, I didn't want to throw a bunch of money into Feedline. I have this little antenna garden that's on the back half of my property, and the wife's not going to let me do anything around the house. So to get out to where I could play antenna meant that I had to pack my radio up and go out to the back field, and that sucked. So one day, it was hot in the middle of summer, right? One day, my CB buddy comes over, and he's got a 1,000-foot box of some quad shield 75 ohm coax, and I'm a young ham, right? I'm like, no, it's got to be 50 ohms.
Devil, yeah.
I'm like, what are you thinking? And he said, life's too short, man. Just hook it up. And I said, okay. And I punched the hole in the wall, ran it from inside the house, and I forget how many hundreds of feet. I think it was like 250 feet out there. And I hooked it up to my antenna, and it was wonderful. And I had a blast. And I was like, why doesn't everybody use this stuff? I don't get it. And I got my HF ticket, and I started talking on the air and telling everybody, oh yeah, this, that, and the other, and 75 ohm feed line, and they go, what are you thinking? And I'm like, I'm talking to you on it right now. Anyway, I cannot believe how touchy hams are when it comes to this topic.
Well,
this is what I like. I'm like, oh, I get to ruffle some feathers for free? This is great.
Well, the funny thing is, like 50 ohms when I was a ham back in 93, like 50 ohms was definitely like the thing to go to, but like a lot of hams like the older guys knew, like, but they were building their own transmitters and stuff like that. So they could grab whatever the coax was and make it work for their scenario, because they could either adjust or, put in a proper transformer or whatever they needed to step around. But it was always the manufacturers, and again, that's the way we live life. It's like you can't drive a certain type of car because, God forbid, it's built somewhere else or whatever kind of attitude. And I think that's what people just kind of adapted 50 ohm coax as. Oh, well, that's what the manufacturer said to use, so I'm going to use it.
Yeah, and 50 ohm coax is in the same category for me as ladder line. A lot of people look at these two things and they think that they're two separate categories, and they're not. They're feed line, and they're of different impedances that we use, normally 50 ohms. Now, what about the balancing part? Well, the balancing part starts at what you transmit through it. It doesn't naturally do that. It inherently does that over enough ladder line and over enough coax. It will do the balancing for you. It will do the heavy lifting. Short runs of coax not going to do the balancing so much. So again, the multi impedance stuff, people have all these crackpot theories, but really what it is, it's just kind of like what you got at the time, right? Ladder line's way easier to build at home when in the 1940s than versus going to the store and buying some coax off the shelf. So really, it's time has a lot to do with it. Ingenuity and the way that we've changed things over time has a lot to do with it. And all I've done is just kind of rediscover the love of working with stuff that's not traditional when it comes to feed line, because we don't really have that much to play with, in my opinion. A lot of POTA guys are pretty much stuck to your standard trapped vertical, and it only gets me so far. Your feed line is definitely part of your antenna system, and I can use it in a way that's advantageous to my antennas.
Now, when you say short runs of coax, like what are you looking at lengths in comparison? Like, say, 75 ohm to 50 ohm. Like, is there like a magic number that says, after a certain length, you're going to be able to magically, be able to, step it down or change it up, or why one or the other?
I think that was two questions.
Yeah.
I can answer both. What I was talking to about length is how your coax has this hidden, not talked about ability to balance the signal when it reaches the other end, right? Because we send an unbalanced signal into it, and that inter-opposite reaction on the coax makes that happen for us almost without a balun, given enough length of coax or enough length of your ladder line or something. There's a little bit of inherent balancing ability within the feed line, is what I was saying.
Okay.
But it sounds like there was more to that you wanted me to explain.
Well, yeah, continue. Definitely. I mean, in essence, I kind of elaborated a little bit more, but yeah, go ahead. Please do that other part. It's helpful.
Right on. So with that, I wanted to know why some magic things were happening when I was using 75 ohm coax with my infed, right? My 80 meter, 130 some foot long infed half wave.
Mm-hmm.
You know how for 75 meters, we don't resonate there naturally up in 3.9 area, right? It's down at the beginning of the band on the harmonic, which is like 3.5, 3.6. When I was feeding my infed half wave with this long run of 75 ohm coax, I couldn't believe my eyes. Everything was normal, but it harmonized at the beginning of 80 meters, and again at around like 3.8 or something like that. There was a double dip in the entirety of 80 meters, which allowed me to talk on 75 meters, which is where I wanted to be. And I didn't want to mess with the rest of my bands. And I'm like, I can't explain this. And I'm on 75 meters talking to the boys about this, right? So I'm getting just raked sideways about everything. And I go, well, how's my signal? Well, I mean, you're 10 over, but that's not the point,
Well, then what is?
That's not the point. You're doing it wrong, Ziggy. And I'm like, I know.
But I'm showing you it works.
So
yeah.
and all this was before I still even understood what I was doing or what was happening, right? I didn't know. I just didn't know why the rest of you guys didn't use this stuff all the damn time. So thanks to Ape and a lot of doubt, we figured it out. And I'd like to show you if I can.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good now, man.
Yeah, sound great.
Okay, good.
We'll go full screen with you, Ziggy.
Which app do I want to use today? This one. Hey, there I am. And there's my mouse. I want to use this app. Oh, I see. I see my issue. My issue is man, a gal. This. I want this app. Oh, I have this app open. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm catching up. I'm catching up. Here we go. This is SimNEC, and it looks so fun. Right?
And this is what, a circuit modeling tool, or is it
This is so see down here in the left, and this is going to be like the 5 cent tour, right? I only use this for like one thing in particular, and Hollywood can make this thing like throw a light show. So I'm only going to show you what I know and how to do. What we have up here at the top is our basically our source and our generator, and I forget which one's which. I think the load is over here. Yeah, our 50 ohm load over here, and then this is our generator, our radio. It's going to be running 27.2 megahertz. Wink, wink. And but see, here's the thing: is that we've got the load connected right to the back of the radio. So we're going to add. Ta-da! See how cool that is? You can just
nice.
drop a block in there. So I just added some transmission line. Okay, and right now I have. I am going to simplify some numbers for you guys so that we don't have to concentrate too much on that. Actually, I need the velocity factor. I'm trying to remember what it is. I think it's like 0.87 for the VF of coax. Actually, check this out. Belden 9116, 75 ohm TV coax. Bam. All the specifications filled right in for you. So this is what we're talking about. And here, I want you to focus. My cable right now, it's 3.7 feet reduced long. That's not right. I learned somewhere around 60 feet, right? And then let's put our marker here on something that's more hammy, like 28.5. There we go. Now, if we look at our SWR chart here, right? But Ziggy, 60 feet lands you at a 1.6 on the swers. You see it off to the side here?
Yep.
On 10 meters. And I would tell you, well, that's simple. I'm going to spin my mouse wheel here, and I am in the opposite direction. Cut your coax a little bit shorter.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw what happened there.
Yeah, dropped quite a bit.
Yeah, but also, let me try to harmonize this here. There, that's about perfect. We fall, see it down here at the bottom right, we fall at a 1.0 for 40 meters. And it lands again here on 20 meters, 15 and 10 meters. So what's happened here is I've used the velocity factor and the length of the cable and the impedance transformation, because what's happening here is we're having a transformation roll of, you see a swerve 2.2, that's like 100 and, I forget how many hundreds of ohms. Oh, it tells me right there, 109 ohms. So it swings back and forth. And I'm just exploiting the fact that you can use your coax at a certain length, and you can make it land at 50 ohms. And awesomely, within all of our ham bands here, the first 4. But Ziggy, I've got an 80 meter infet half wave. I want all those areas in between those areas. So let's open this way up to 3 megahertz. Go ahead. See how it doesn't harmonize on 3 at all? It's on the back side. That's okay. We're just going to double this. We'll go 120 feet. 0 decimal. All right.
Oh, wow.
So we've now doubled our harmonics, and so now we're going to length tune this, and I believe the answer is to be, I think it's shorter than 120. Yeah. So about 113 feet, and look at that. That's all your standard ham harmonics that you are typically after. And your radio will see a 50 ohm feed line at all these on all of our ham bands. So
at 113 feet of coax.
This is 113, about 114 feet. Now, so here's the thing. This I use as a tool, right? This gets me in the ballpark. I always cut it like, a foot or two longer.
Sure.
And then I've got this quick way of tuning it where I just use my coax tool. You guys have probably seen it. You just clamp it on there and you spin it and you just pull it, right? and then I can just stab it in the Rig Expert without putting an end on it, and I can scan it real quick and tell, up a little bit more, and you snip it, zip it, stab it in, scan it again, and you can do this very fast, right? I can length-tune one like real quick, and then when it's all said and done, with the length tuning, slap a compression on there, squeeze it, put an adapter on there, and send it, and you're done.
Wow.
Yeah, no soldering involved. That's what I really enjoy about this stuff. And so here I can show you. I think I can show you more stuff here. I've run it. There we go. There's the swirls. And you see how we always seem to be kissing right almost at the mark that we're after. And then here's the fly out, where it gets capacitive and inductive again, and you go through the whole cycle, which is what we were looking at here. So,
Interesting.
5-cent tour of how I'm using it. Mike's right. 113 feet of this stuff is $20 if you're paying for it, right?
He just likes saying that because it's $20, but
yeah, $20. Bravo. Most people can get this stuff for free. So.
Wow, that's impressive. Like that's actually wow. I feel like you've just literally like found cold fusion, and you're just like totally blowing like every like value system that's like in the ham radio community to basically smithereens. But that's awesome.
Since I figured this out, I have zero desire to buy 50 ohm coax because why spend any money?
Why would you?
I
Like
have
literally
so much of 75 ohm coax because, like I was telling you guys earlier, I have these wonderful subscribers, and they just send me rolls and rolls of coax because they think I just like swim in a giant pool of this stuff in my free time.
Now, how does that impact like your power basically for the? I mean, obviously 75 coax. I mean, you're going to get into variances in terms of it handling certain levels of power. What are you usually running at less than like barefoot? We're like talking 20 watts, and how much efficiency are you getting out of it?
So you can run. I think the consensus on a 75 ohm folk have come to is about 800 watts is totally fine.
Wow.
Probably not much more than that. But I don't have an amplifier. I have a 100-watt radio, and that's all I got. So
okay. So
yeah.
Interesting. Now. All
Could be a good experiment, though. Like, I mean, let's see what 1500 watts would do.
That would definitely, take it to a new level for sure. So, all right, now that you've got this, so you're running basically just this one big long length out to your antenna field. Oh, so you're running multiple? Okay, all right.
Yeah. Why stop with one?
Well, it's because like us ridiculous hams sometimes we'll throw like a coax switch kind of out at those other ends where then that's how would you deal with that's kind of simplifying the their setup a little bit. But
let me put it to you this way: one of these costs money, and I've got so much of the coax. Just lay down another.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. Just keep doing it. I do have one 50 ohm feeder that I use out there sometimes, but I mean, like I said, you saw it falls. I can make it harmonically fall with length, right around our points of interest. So with a little bit of and at this point in my journey, it's second nature to me. I even check all my 50 ohm coax because I want to show you guys something that you might not know about. How often do you guys check your 50 ohm coax cables?
Only when they break. How about that?
Isn't that interesting? Like it's like we all should, and we all don't want to say that we don't, right? But
I'll be first to admit.
But we don't.
Right. So
unless something goes wonky, like
or worse, you use it on a field day, you take it out home wet, and then you just throw it in the back of your truck or your bag, and you forget about it, and you probably deteriorated the cable until you take it out next field day, and you're like, hey, that was perfectly fine.
If anybody was wondering how I test my 75 ohm coaxes with a 50 ohm dummy load at the end of the cable.
Why?
Because I am targeting a 50 ohm system, my radio.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want this to be a 50 ohm environment. So I'm going to put the perfect 50 ohm dummy load at the end there. Yep, and that's the that's how you test it. Now I found my very first piece of 50 ohm coax hanging up right here as we were talking, and I thought, what a great, because I knew the coax was kind of bunk, right?
Yeah.
I've never actually hooked a 50 ohm dummy load to the end of it and looked at it, and I did while we were talking, and holy cow, let's look at that. So this cable, right? And you can see it's got a little bend there at the end, but there's my 50 ohm dummy load, and here's my my Holy War rig expert. Sorry about the glare.
Oh, it's good now.
And we'll press OK. There we go, and we'll just scan it here. Holy Jeebus, what's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on here. This cable ain't 50 ohms, folks. Because if it was 50 ohms, it'd be flat all the way across.
Right.
Right. So
interesting.
And so what's happening inside of this coax at these frequencies here? Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh man, that's like right. That's like the worst right there. You get a 1.17 on the swir there for no reason.
Yeah, for no band that we have access to. Yep.
Right. So it's almost a 1.2 right out the gate. And I always kind of knew that this cable had what I call characteristic to it, but not until just a few moments ago have I ever actually checked it with a 50 ohm dummy load like this. And now this, this will make me rest easier and forget all those nightmares of trying to tune an antenna to that perfect magic, 1-to-1, and I couldn't because this thing's not perfect.
So here's a question: what's the tricks for you that you use? Obviously, so say you get a 75 ohm piece of coax that you just randomly grabbed off the shelf and you're out in the field. Are you basically just slashing ends off and doing what you described earlier as your testing process and to cut it to the right length, or you just leave it as is? And
are we talking about like zombie time? What are we talking?
Yeah, or just in whatever your normal.
Leave your tape measure in the toolbox because your internal tuner. Given that your antenna is good and needs to be and is resonating where it needs to resonate, your internal tuner can tune, a 40 ohms of mismatch, and yeah.
Okay. So
don't sweat it. Your internal tuner can handle a 75 ohm feeder and can match it quite well. So now that's if you want to do no math. I do the math and the testing, so I don't have to use it. It'll fall to 50 ohms when you length tune it correctly. But if you want to just use it to use it, buddy, send it. You won't believe it. And here's the lottery ticket, right? Your arbitrary length that you just so happen to have laid out for your antenna, it's less likely for you to be in the worst spot of the curve, right? Because that's like winning the lottery. You're going to be on some kind of like in between, either great or almost perfect, or somewhere, in the median. So anyway, it could, like I said, for me, I didn't measure it at first, and what happened was I happened to be within some kind of length that it was happy with, that it was falling very close to 50 ohms. So that's why I didn't understand why everybody didn't use this stuff, is because I got lucky the very first time I ever laid it out. But yeah, so that's a great example of how coax can fool you. And so what I learned from that is that, and seeing the harmonics, like you saw them, the two bounces over the full spectrum, that tells me that cable's not 50 ohms. It's probably a little bit higher in resistance because it's kind of a shoddy cable. So not perfect, but that's enough about 50 ohm stuff. Lame.
That's what we're here for.
Lame. 75 ohm stuff. Let's talk about this stuff. Now,
is this to be part of the club? Because Paul did the same thing like 2 weeks ago too. He held it up like it was a prize trophy.
You gotta have one. Busting one of these out like unsuspecting on your super nerd ham friends out at the park.
I don't have many of those, but yeah,
absolutely lose it.
Yeah, see, it's an official uniform.
And he's got his diggy choke on a stick too. So I build those and sell those, guys. If you want one,
we will have to talk about that.
Now, what's cool, if I can go eye in the sky, this stuff, if you look at it, do you see how it's got this texture?
Yeah, it's like a glossy kind of like ruffle, like rib,
carbon fibery looking. Yeah, ribbed.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what you want to look for, because this is an indicator of quad shield cable, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, quad shield. How many shields we got in our hobby, guys?
2.
At best, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If we're lucky.
So right out the gate, we're talking about a superior coax to RG8. 75 ohm coax in quad shield has similar characteristics in loss over length to that of LMR 400, folks. The average price, good job, Ted. The average price of 75 ohm coax comes out to be about 8 to 10 cents per foot.
Let me interrupt real quick for our podcast listeners only. Ted says, yeah, that's coax rib for his pleasure. So we'll leave it at that. Go on.
So right out the gate, you have something that you probably scored for free that has loss characteristics, that of LMR 400. I mean, automatically, we're just,
well, you're in the game at that
winning.
point because,
we're
right.
winning.
Yep.
So, I made a tune feeder real quick because I wanted Paul to have one. And when I showed him the first time, like in real life on that cable, his kind of like, I just felt like this crushing weight just take his soul away. Like he was just like,
you've healed him.
He's like, what am I even looking at right now?
Oh, I've got a perfect clip for that.
Lord, it's a miracle.
It was honestly, it was bewildering to watch it happen because it's like,
because I did it right in front of him. I snapped it off of something else and I checked it, and I think it was just about the right length, and then we slapped an end on it, and I slapped a dummy load on it, and I showed him, and he was like
a magician.
And the whole thing took like maybe 5 minutes, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
What's the catch? The catch is how we get from that F connector to the back of my ICOM, Mr. Ziggy. They don't make these just for me, folks. Okay, I'm not the only person that buys these.
Oh, like they're threaded. Yeah. Okay, so you're not putting a new connector on. You're just using a threaded, gender changer. Okay.
Yep. Just a little just a little adapter. So
yeah.
it's still this is called an F connector, and so I get F to PL adapters, and they're not free and they're not cheap. They're probably like I think I get them for like $3 and $4 a pop, but you'll use them over and over and over and over and over, right? So really buy yourself like 4 or 6 of them, and you should be good for a while. So. Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's good for 3 feeders.
Now, you ever have any problem with that connector? Like F connectors, typically, at least in my field, always end up getting loose over time from heat and stuff like that. You've ever had any problems with those in the field?
So never once. And actually, these are the watertight style. So when it you can feel the O-ring in there, and when it bottoms out, it's a done. It's a done deal. Yeah. And then also too, these, unlike what we use, fellas, these are designed to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a watertight connection all around. So anyway.
Yeah, interesting. I'll have to get me a set of those. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Let's go ahead and what else did I want to show?
So quad shielded RG6, any manufacturer type that you prefer over one or another, or you just doesn't matter?
The free kind, preferably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that manufacturer up.
The free kind, preferably. And believe it or not, right? So here's a little trick my Elmer taught me, and he's I got to thank him for when I told him I was already using 75 ohm coax. I think when I met him. When I told him that, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's some gangster stuff that you're doing there," and he goes, "They're gonna hate you," and I'm like, "That's great." He's like, "No, let's do more of that. That's great." He's like, "I use 75 ohms for the impedance transformation stub for his delta loop for 40 meters. He's got a quarter wave of 75 ohm coax, and it provides the impedance match that you need to do that."
Never thought about doing that. Interesting.
Yep. So he's using
every delta match I've ever, or impedance match, it's always been 50 ohm. It's like because that's the relative fit. But I have plenty of 75 ohm coax.
So Yeah, so you can actually have a better match. You can actually use this stuff as an impedance transformer, and guess what? There's no toroid involved, right? So what am I saying right now? Our dipoles, right? 72 ohms. Real quick, HP screen here. Let's go back to a. What did we find out? It was like 56 feet.
Yeah, 63 feet, I thought. Or was it a little less?
It was 50.
63 comes to mind, but
yeah, 56 feet. Now here's something interesting. Say I have a here's 20 meters right here. Say I have a dipole, a 20-meter dipole out in my backyard. I can use a length of coax, and I'm not going to do the top of the transformation, and I'm not going to do the bottom of the transformation. See how I've split the baby right here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that green line's hard to see, but anyway, right here where my mouse cursor is, I've split, and I'm going to look at the data on that, and it says I've got a Z of 67 ohms, and no, we don't want to change that. Abort. Let's change this to where I can get maybe one more. 69, close enough for me. So we're close to, we've done a little impedance transformation within the length of the coax, right about here maybe? 73 ohms, look at that. So if I feed my 20-meter dipole with 64.3 feet of 75 ohm coax at the antenna end, it'll be a perfect match to the dipole. Your radio will see a 50 ohm antenna.
The challenge with that, though, is you're playing with distances at that point. So as long as your shack from your radio to your antenna is less than 63 feet, then you'll be able to get the cable there. But yeah.
You can use it as an impedance transformer section and then pop a barrel on it and go 50 ohms the rest of the way.
Oh. I didn't. Oh, okay. Wow.
Neat,
I didn't think that.
So it's a lossless, right? Because it's just coax. Signal just goes. Whoosh. Yep. It's a lossless impedance transformer in that regard.
Holy crap. So literally you could run exactly like you were. That makes sense now.
I've made 1-to-1 dipoles. I've made perfect SWR dipoles.
So Todd, what this means is like if you wanted to throw your DX Commander out in that corner of your woods, you don't have to have LMR 400 all the way out there. You could run 75 ohm coax, literally bury it.
1,000-foot roll of it for
you could, literally. You'd save yourself hundreds of dollars, and then you just basically put 50 ohms on the end of the barrel connector, and you're golden.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no soldering involved, and it's already watertight.
Well, I got a whole freaking huge
spool of the 400.
Spool of the 400.
Now you can make smaller segments.
Yeah.
Ration
it. Sell the 400 and
buy all 75 ohm.
So here's a section. I was like, oh crap, I didn't have like one of these made up already, and I was digging around here, and I'm like, what is this? And I checked it real quick, and I was like, oh, it's a tuned piece. So this one is actually identical to Grouch's. And I am going to connect it up for you guys and show you in real time. That's the dummy load end.
And when you mean tuned, that's tuned for certain frequencies.
So this
set
is
band, or
this is a 50.
Yeah, 57, 67, 56. I think you said. For what part of the band was that?
That's for the first 4 main harmonics.
Okay.
The first 4 even harmonics. And now again, don't quote me on this because your velocity factor may be different of your brand of coax, and that has a lot to do with what we're doing here, right? When the velocity factor changes, the length of this is going to change. So, like I said, I just use the SimNEC program that I showed earlier to get me close, and then I tune it from there because it's never going to be spot on.
So do you find one there's a huge varying degrees between a lot of the manufacturers, or no?
Here is a great thing that you just brought up. Did you know that 75 ohm coax is more rigorously tested than just about anything that we have in the 50 ohm department?
Yeah, I knew that just because of the industry it's used in, but yeah.
They run it through like NASA spec like stuff. They have to because they're handling 3 gigahertz signals and stuff. So, usually when it comes to that, the materials are higher in quality, and the shielding's better, and the dielectric is made out of a superior material. There's not a lot of room to screw around. Now there's some cheap TV coax, and we've all seen the coax that comes with your little, rabbit ear antenna that they throw in for you just for fun. Like you feel it, and it's almost spongy feeling. Like it's just it's no braid. It's just a single like aluminum for a shield. So there's some trash out there. But like I said, you get down to where you accept the fact that this stuff can be bought at your local Home Depot at the drop of a hat. And as long as you got a couple connectors in your pocket, buddy, you can do anything you want. No soldering iron required.
So do you always have like cut lengths already prepared just in general, or you just kind of do it on the fly when you need it because you just have the formulas kind of, or the numbers memorized a little bit?
So you can, and I encourage you to do this yourself and learn how to length tune one. But me personally, I don't care.
Okay.
I'll take it however it gets. I'm just going to tune it up a little bit and fix it, and we'll be just fine. Because what I'm fixing is I'm fixing what's going on in the cable. The signal's not actually going like away, right? I'm just creating the match to make the radio happy again. All the power is still there.
Yeah, the only reason why I was thinking is like, because I've got like lengths of 50 ohm coax sitting in the truck as I use for like external antennas and stuff that I keep just as a backup. But the heck, if I could get that right formula configured and tuned right, then I could just leave 75 ohm coax and I'd be much happier.
So Mike wants to see what happens when we pump some VHF and UHF into this stuff. That's a great question, Mike, because I don't know. I've never thought about it, and I think the reason why is because I kind of already know what's going to happen here. Let's see. I need to change my scope. Let's go from 140 to 160. Sure, sounds great. And we are using some 75 ohm TV coax. There's a marker that doesn't exist. We'll call this 146. There it is. And we have 57 feet of coax. And let's see. Okay, so it's very sensitive, right? So here's 60.6 feet, 61.2 feet. I don't know. I don't see why you couldn't use it. And then your next harmonic would be here at 64 feet. Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't use it. In fact, you have more chances to get closer to your 50 ohm match. Here's 66 feet or 67 feet. Yeah, you have more chances to get close to your 50 ohm match with a VHF.
How does that whole equation and basically stance that everyone's like, well, if you don't use a less lossy coax at VHF or UHF frequencies, your power is going to be. I mean, do you feel like that your power levels are going to be still affected by that, or no?
Well, think about this. TV coax is meant for super high frequencies, right? So the higher in frequency we go, the better the performance of the cable. Right?
Okay.
Makes sense?
Okay. Yeah. So then at that point, you're not worrying about heat dissipation and, all right. Okay.
440 to 460. Let's go UHF for them. And then let's put a marker at, where's my marker? Come on, 446. Sure, do it. And let's start rolling some feet. And yeah, same story. There's 67.6 feet, and that's at the lowest. And then again, whoa, go back. 65 feet. Yeah, it's tunable. It's way tunable. Here's 63 feet. Yeah, so you can use this in VHF and UHF. It's not a problem.
Okay. So, all right, let's back up the train here a little bit. So if I think like a lot of our, our user, our subscription base here or whatever, what practical things, because obviously you're using a tool to come up with the magical number of, length and stuff like that for what frequencies you're operating on. what would you, or what can you offer someone to as tips or tricks to be able to do that stuff out in the field with like a basic VNA or an analyzer? Obviously that you're doing now. I mean,
so
or maybe
get yourself. Obviously, you're going to need the adapters, and you're going to need a barrel here for your 50 ohm dummy load, and then just use your VNA or your rig expert. And what I was saying earlier is when you're length tuning your coax, don't bother like, oh man, I'm gonna have to crimp an end on to check it every time. No, when you spin this coax with the tool that strips it for you in preparation for this crimp, you can actually just kind of like hold it in the SO connector of the you know what I mean? One finger on the shield, and yeah, you can just touch it there and scan it real quick, and you can get a sweep and an idea of where you're at. Even if it's not a clean sweep for the entire sweep, you know when you're getting closer. So that's what I do when I'm trimming inches off of this thing, trying to make a perfect feeder.
Now here's the gadget side of things before you get into that second part. Sure. What do you recommend for your crimpers? Because there's a whole ton out there, and everyone's got their feel for the crimper. But like, what do you use?
Klein, Home Depot. Okay. Yeah, you can buy this kit at Home Depot today. You can buy a pack of 50 ends at Home Depot today, and your little crimper kit comes with your compression and your stripper tool, and you can get all this today at Home Depot.
And then what would you say to someone who's a really frugal ham and they're like, well, why don't you just use the screw-on style barrel?
Use the screw-ons. Use the screw-ons.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. You pretty much saved a shit ton of money for everybody.
Yeah, use the screw-ons if that's all you get. But here's the great thing: when you get your crimper, you just lop that baby off and,
what's up to them?
Crimp one of the compression styles on. So, not a problem.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you, sir. Klein's really good stuff. I use a lot of their products for low voltage stuff. So. Totally makes sense.
The only thing you need to get into playing with 75 ohms is the little adapters, in my opinion. You can go get yourself a handful of the screw-on ends, and you can experiment. And trust me, you're going to get so addicted to it, you're gonna own a pair real quick. So
that makes sense. They're not super expensive either. So you said you build your own 50 ohm dummy loads, or?
No, it looks homemade. I've just taken that stupid thing that they put on there. The Amazon heatsink.
Oh, the big. Yes.
Yeah, this stupid thing. Yeah. So I'm not running any power into the heatsink. I'm using it more as a lab.
Like Terminator
device.
Or something. Yeah.
I'm only pumping what the rig expert's pumping out. So cool. I've got the here it is in real time. I've got the 75 ohm coax roll, and this is the first 4 harmonics: 40, 20, 15, and 10, with a 50 ohm dummy load at the end connected to this guy. And we're gonna watch it. Not in software. We're gonna watch it live.
Hey, Grouch.
On the eye in the sky.
Are those branded links? Do we have to put that caveat statement at the beginning of this episode?
those are just links.
Okay.
So
just give you a hard time.
Here's the magic coax that's connected directly to. Look, guys. Here's some RG6 connected directly to this rig expert. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
4.
Just like what we saw.
Wow.
And so we can go, to 20 meters here. And so here's 20 meters. And let's do a deep scan. Brother, you can work with that all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Holy crap. Even on the high side, that's going to be like
2 and below. Like,
yeah. Dude, what's on the high side if you view the marker up? It's probably like 1.5 maybe.
Oh, on the high side over here?
Yeah.
1.1.
Oh God!
1.11.
Your radio's not even flinching.
I'm telling you, this is like, I love talking about this because a lot of people go, well, thanks for sharing, Ziggy. You, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna go talk to my 50 ohm coax dealer. I'll be back.
10 cents a foot for this stuff if you're gonna purchase it, guys.
Dude, holy crap!
Yeah. So, how much is LMR 400 these days? Is it like $1.50?
Almost $2. In some cases, I've seen it as almost as high as $2, like almost $1.85. I think was the last time I looked at it on a 500 foot.
I've seen some poor souls pay as much as $3 and $5 for that stuff. A foot.
Wow, man! You got me thinking. Holy
10
crap!
10 cents a foot. It's 10 cents. Go pull up.
Yeah, we can do a quick.
I'll do it. I'll pull it up. Anyway, you got any questions for me while I pull this up?
It looks like the cheapest I'm seeing for LMR 400 is like $1 a foot.
Yeah, $1.44 I saw here. Yeah, so Times Microwave has it at $1.80, but you're paying for their name. Wow, I wonder what Times Microwave has for if we even looked at the high level of RG6.
RG6 quad.
Oh, let's go see what their RG6 cable is. We are looking at, come on, 5.8, 223. Come on, just give me the prices for it. Products.
It needs to know your location first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm fighting right now. No, that can't be right. Okay, so there's connectors. There we go.
Here we go. 500 feet, guys.
Off AF Home Depot.
You can have 500 feet. 500 feet of feed line for like the price of, Salisbury steak dinner.
Damn.
Or McDonald's at this price, the way they were going, but yeah.
Oh, it's brutal, right?
Wow. All right.
$25 for 2 people at Mickey D's.
Holy crap. Times Microwave has it for literally like 62 cents a foot. That's even high, but wow. That's way even cheaper. Holy crap.
62 cents a foot for some LMR 400?
Well, no, not for LMR 400, no. We're talking
for
about
some
RG6.
TV coax?
Yeah, for TV coax, the high end.
See, I'm telling you, dude, the big 50 ohm, man, it's a real thing. Like, there's no reason. Technically, this stuff should cost more because there's more to it.
Right.
And it's a higher tolerance, way higher tolerance. And the specification's way tighter. I've been onto this high for a couple of years now. I'd say about 5 years. And this is as far out as I've been able to reach thus far. I've been on many podcasts about it. So hopefully your viewers will understand why I'm not that insane. But
you need to do the club circuit because in essence, I'm sure you'll have a lot of pitchforks and torches from the older crowd, but you might have a bunch of the younger guys going, "Hey, I like this idea."
It's fun. It's a lot of fun to talk about it, and also too, it helps you understand some things that you don't ever get the opportunity to throughout your ham journey, right? You're playing with different impedances. You're understanding, physics inside your ohm antenna system, and it really opened up the door for me and my manual tuner addiction. And because if all you need is just a little bit of capacitance or just a little bit of inductance to just open up your radio wide open full power, I'll play around with that. I've been playing around with, weird impedances using 75 ohm TV coax for a long time, and I understand that it's not, it's not that big of a deal, guys. It's now when your antenna is off because it's not efficient, it's not long enough to be transmitting on the frequency that you're pushing into it. That's one thing. But if you're just doing a little LC match to make your coax seem like 50 ohms for your radio, the power's not really going anywhere. It's just you're just transforming the system so that it works for you. So even if you don't, like I said, even if you don't want to do the weirdness and the length tuning and getting it beautiful and perfect, you can just use your manual tuner and dial that baby right on in, and she'll fall in line. So don't be afraid of it. You don't need to length tune it like I like to do. I just finally found out what was going on.
So in your mind, if you had an infet or say a dipole, we'll stick with the dipole since we're using as an example. You already had a dipole and it's basically tuned, for the typical 4 harmonics already. You would suggest basically directly feeding that with 75 ohm and then make the last, mile or whatever 50 from the radio and everything,
we're going to make an impedance transformation stub. So let's go back and
let's go into that a little bit.
Let's make our stub, since I've already given you a taste on that. Let's go to here, and we will focus in on, let's say, 40 meters. So we'll go 6.9. Those are zeros. 6.9 to 7.3. So here, we're focused here, and I'm going to guesstimate somewhere around 15 feet. Hey, that's pretty damn close. And here is 70. I'll be damned. So a 15-foot stub will impedance change you from 50 ohms to 73 ohms, which is exactly what your 40-meter dipole here is going to really enjoy.
And
right?
that stub is basically just a small section of 75 ohm coax.
15 feet, it says, of 75 ohm coax as the tuning stub. I was taught to call them tuning stubs. And it will do the pretty much lossless impedance transformation for you. And your radio, here's the thing, your radio is going to see a 50 ohm antenna out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to,
add all the harmonics. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first time any ham operator's sitting here telling you to tune to a swir.
Right. Yeah. Well, very much so. I didn't even make that connection. Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike's got a little quick question. He wants to know if you've done a flower pot style antenna with 75 ohm coax.
Okay. So that falls into the where everybody kind of starts with 75 ohm coax. They're trying to make these bazookas and flower pots and stuff like this. Have fun, guys. I tried all the weird 75 ohm coax antennas and all that, and you can always get like kind of close, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not. I tried it. I made a TL2T, as they're called, T2. I think that's
I've never seen one.
TL2T. It's basically a vertical dipole, and you just fold the shield back on itself. Some people do, some people don't. But then they add a choke, which terminates the shield side, so it's just a vertical dipole. But see, so here's the thing, right? It's made out of 75 ohm coax. Now, if you're smart, you can actually length tune that thing while it's in the air. And you can actually snip the feeder after the choke and make that vertical dipole land at 50 ohms.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that about the T2LT, is that because the whole thing, if you take it 50 ohms or 75 ohms all the way to the radio, then you can even break it off to 50 ohms. But yeah, you can actually length tune is the topic here. You can length tune it and make it fall back to 50 ohms in the way that I'm doing it. So, and it'll present 73 ohms to the dipole that you've created, which is what it wants. And I want to think that there was one more thing I wanted to share as far as this craziness.
I wouldn't say it's crazy easy.
I've done the impedance transformation side of it. I've done the length tuning side of it. I've done the harmonics and the multiples side of it.
Well, Mike's got a question. He's curious about the choking side of things. How would you do that?
So you can't wrap this stuff around
toroid.
a toroid like we do with our 50 ohm. It's not that flexible. And the fact that it has a single solid core for the center conductor is
a problem.
It's a problem for it. I'm getting little knocks at the door. Open the door.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Is like, okay, well, I'm sure the bending radius on RG6, especially quad shielded, is only to a certain degree.
Mommy awake? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can split it. What's up?
I was going to say RG6 is quad shielded has got only so much of a bend radius before you start basically compromising the cable.
Yeah, so the only way to if you had to do choking with this stuff, I would just, you would need a VNA to do this properly, but I would just make an ugly balun.
What's that?
So something like this.
Like a big giant loop. Oh, okay.
Yeah, an ugly balun. If you had to, but fortunately, I know a guy that makes these chokes. And
well, it's a good segue. A certain individual's already holding a said choke up here as a display Vanna.
Yeah, that's my choke on a stick, guys. And so, what's great about a choke on a stick is that since
Besides the name,
it's great, isn't it? Since I got down the rabbit hole of 75 ohm coax and I started analyzing stuff like this, I noticed that when normal people wrap a toroidal choke with coax in this fashion, they normally go half up and then cross over, and then they continue on the other way, and then they lay it on this plane. So we're actually coming into the magnetic field and then crossing that magnetic field. And I found that obviously there's reactance involved when you do that. And I found out how to mitigate it. How to mitigate it is I just simply enter the donut perpendicular to the magnetic field, and I also leave in that same plane. Now, what does that do? That makes it kind of strange. So I found out a strain relief for the coax as it comes and goes through the toroid. So I've eliminated the crossover. I've added strain relief to the coax. And also what that pipe does mostly for me is that it pushes that coax to the inner of that toroidal core, giving it more impedance contact RF path. So it's a better choke in every regard. And the loss is like almost like it's hard to measure. It really is.
And just so I understand, that cable that's in that choke right now is 75 or is that 50? Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't think, I was like, wow, that's impressive.
No,
that's you can't wrap the 75.
Well, I was hoping he was going to get to that next step. He's like, he figured out how to solve that problem, and he's going to reveal that to the world. But
I tried it, and it was not a 75 ohm cable after that.
Oh yeah,
it was very different. Almost a short, some people could say. So anyway, that's my feedline journey story. Wow. And I'm sticking to it.
Well, okay. So, Paul, you got any questions you want to throw out there, or comments?
Well, I mean, I guess the hard part for me, right, is I've already asked all these questions in person, and I forget what the hell I asked.
Damn it, short-term memory. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, like, this is a lot to digest for sure. I mean, it makes sense. That's what the problem is. Like,
I bring receipts.
and
hard.
Proof.
It's hard, right? Yeah.
Very much, yeah. So it's like, I totally buy into like it's not even buying is saying it the right way. It's like you're selling silicone snake oil, but like you're just proving out something that was just always kind of like just accepted as something, as the norm when I've been in the hobby for a long time. I mean, I can't tell you how many stories, and you've already reiterated them several times, where people just like, that's just the way it is. You always use 50 ohm coax. That's what everyone's told us to do. And so it's awesome that you're not preaching this, but you're just revealing it to people that like, hey, you've got this great stuff that's cheap. It's good. If you use the right stuff and you do it in this fashion, you can leverage it just as easily as you would if you just bought a 100-foot length of LMR 400 and called it a day kind of thing.
And for God's sakes, people, get these while they still exist on planet Earth. This is
MFJ?
A basic manual tuner. You know what you can't buy anymore is manual tuners that have banana plugs for random wire. And Grouch, I ran him through the ringer on random stuff when he came over here. Anything I could attach to the back of any one of my manual tuners, it was getting RF in it. This right here, 300 feet.
Yeah.
Tell me when you found. Tell me when you have ever bought 300 feet of antenna wire for about $9.
Never.
Yeah. So this is silver beading wire. It's vinyl coated, and you can strip it, and you can just run this out to your heart's content. And I deployed all 300 feet of this, and we got out. It was better than nothing. But the fact that it works,
it was a phenomenal receive antenna.
Yeah, big ears, big ears.
Interesting. Now, but how has that so using that style? Is that like 10 gauge, 18 gauge, 16 gauge?
Oh my God, it's 0.3 millimeters.
Oh God, so it's even smaller than that. Wow, holy crap! So it's not like you're going to set that up as a permanent kind of thing, but
it is so small that once it went out, you couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's probably invisible.
Dude, I walked into it. Watson walked into it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Watson got all wrapped up.
That's ultra thin.
Yeah, you can't see it when it's up.
No.
It is so thin.
It's barely shiny now. Yeah. Interesting. So Mike had a question here. He was curious about 75 ohm coax and random wires. What's your take on it?
Send it. And you know what happens more often than not? If you don't length tune your coax with a random wire wants to, because it's not resonant, it wants to look for paths and options. I call it RF options, to go do impedance transformations and other kinds of things in other areas, right? And it's going to choose the path of least resistance because RF is lazy. Use the door properly, child.
Speaking of.
Wow. I'll take it. Thanks, honey. Say hi.
Hello.
Cold beer.
Nice. Man, you got them trained well.
Aren't they? I beat them a lot.
Do you?
All the time.
With 75 ohm coax here, folks. It's multi-use.
Makes a hell of a crack sound.
Truth be told, Ziggy's kids are freaking awesome.
They better be.
Spoken like a true dad.
They are terrific. Absolutely stellar kids. Ryan is learning 3D modeling, and I said, you have to master this before I give you your 3D printer for Christmas. And he's like,
wow.
And I'm like, and you're going straight to Blender, kid. So he's,
oh my God.
He's mastering Blender right now.
Yeah, that's intense stuff. I still can't get my head around it, and it's very complex.
He made a Pikachu within 1 hour.
Whoa. Dude, he's good. The kids are great. Like at that age, they just adapt to those things so freaking fast. It's like insane.
They can read the screen, I think, really what it is.
It's yeah, they can see right through it. It's just so intuitive for them, more than, even our generation, Gen X. Like we just kind of grew up with it. But Todd, you got any questions, or your head's still spinning?
Yeah, I'm spinning. I'm gonna have to go watch this again.
I mean,
so notes.
It's not hard. It's a one-way street, and you're not gonna believe this, but I mean, we've all seen feed line like this, right? This big stuff.
Oh, is that the Heliax?
Right, but look at this connector on it.
Oh God, yeah, it's beast.
This is 75 ohm coax, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Yeah.
They make it that thick?
Yeah, dude. This is called trunk line.
Oh, okay. I usually see.
This is big money stuff.
How'd you get your hands on that? I won't ask.
Oh, I wanted to say, for all you guys out there that want to play with 75 ohm coax, but you don't have any. Yeah, see, 75 ohm.
Just go over to your local telephone pole and cut a section off.
Do not do that. That was pure comedy.
Yes.
Ask any Xfinity truck guy. Ask him, hey man, do you have any coax you could give me? And every single time I've ever done this, I've always gotten a roll. Like, yeah, dude, I got this half roll here. You can have it. Every time. Every single time. And my Elmer, I told him about that. He was the one that told me. He goes, the reason why is because if they run out of cable, they get a free trip back to the hub. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they get to go bang out and go pick up some more coax at the hub, instead of going on another service call.
Interesting. We have a lot of cable vendors that I use and stuff like that. They always send me emails with like, here, we've got like a spool of 1,000 feet of 75 ohm, quad shielded, and I always just look away and continue on. But I'll definitely have to make sure I pay attention to that more often now.
You've been passing up.
Dude, you don't know how much coax I have literally just been like ignoring when it goes by. I'm like, that's not 50 ohm. I don't want anything to do with it. Dude, that is like a wand. That's not a piece of coax.
Yeah, it
that's
is coax.
thick. Holy crap.
It's coax. And I got this from an Xfinity guy. He had one of the big commercial trucks, and I saw, I said, hey, do you have any coax? And he said, what kind of coax do you want? And I was like, what do you got? And he pulls out this big hardline stuff. He's like, I've got some of this. And I was like, dude, break me off a piece of that. And he starts doing the end, and then this big connector, this grenade comes out. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, well, I got to give you a connector for it. And so it actually threads into whatever it ends up mating to. It actually screws in. And that's the...
have you gotten your hands on some of that in longer lengths or no?
Oh, hell no, dude. This is solid aluminum.
Oh, I know. But I'm thinking like, heck, you run like 1 or 2 feed lines, from the house to the shack. It won't bend, but you can do run, long run.
Got it.
Yeah, but you're lucky. That's a lot of effort. They have those pipe benders to, and most of the time you really can't even put that much of a bend in that.
This is on those big, like 10-foot spools.
Yeah.
But you rarely see this because the infrastructure's already been laid. So really, he's kind of like I think they use that whenever they're what they call plumbing in like an apartment complex or someplace, or like a new subdivision.
Yeah. So, yeah. Or they have to just rip out the old infrastructure and put something new in. Yeah.
Yeah. One and done with that. So.
Wow. Huh. Wow. It is eye-opening, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate this. This is awesome.
I'm glad you let me vent about it, because I feel like I just don't really have anywhere to talk about it, and I think it's the best part about my ham hobby is the fact that I don't use 50 ohm coax.
Put it this way: if you want more places to talk, I can line you up with a bunch of like clubs that are always interested in having like these really far off kind of like far-fetched discussions of in other we'll call alternative ways of doing things in ham radio. And so if you're interested, I'll pass your name on, and I'm sure they'd love to obviously learn a hell of a lot more about this stuff, because it's pretty cool.
I'm trying to remember this guy. His name's Mike. It's like K8 MRD. Murder guy.
Yeah, murder guy. Yeah.
He I met him at Hamcation for the first time, and we've kind of had a fun little like not friendship online for whatever reason. He always thought I was weird, and rightfully so. But I got to meet him in person at Hamcation, and my wife smoked some brisket, and so I invited him over and some friends, and we all sat and ate some brisket, pork butt actually.
Oh, good.
And then I was like, all right, I've got them all sat down. Now I'm gonna bust out some 75 ohm craziness on them. So I laid out my feeders, and I put like the rig expert in everybody's hand. They're sitting there eating, looking, going, what the hell? And right in front of Mike, I showed how quickly I made a tuned feeder, and cut it right where it needed to be, and crimped both ends, and basically made a feed line. And that was the best thing that I got to hear from somebody that could have said something quite critical about anything. Is he said, look how fast he puts those connectors on. It's like,
yeah, dude.
It's like instant, right? It's like 1, 2.
Oh yeah, f-stops are fast.
2-step process.
Mm-hmm.
2-step process.
Yeah, the hardest part is just if you don't have the right, coax shield, cutting tool, and you have to use a knife, that takes a little longer with that stuff. But yeah, if you have the right tools, you can get it done in 2 minutes.
Dude, you can pick up a 75 ohm stripper at any Home Depot in any city.
Yes, and on any corner in the suburb, in a rural area too.
Open until 10 p.m. Right.
Daylight hours. So.
Awesome. And if you don't, one thing I do want to tell everybody is that 75 ohm coax, pretty much all the time, every time, is going to have an aluminum braid, right? You ain't soldering onto that, homeboy. Don't think you can sneak past a connector. Now, can you twist wires and stuff? Yeah, you can twist the shield and twist the center all day long, but don't try to solder onto it. I mean,
yeah, it requires some special skills.
yeah, and so I just take an eyelet, like a crimp eyelet, on like if I absolutely had to. I think I did this once or twice in my in earlier years of 75 ohm, and I would just crimp an eyelet to the shield whenever I was making like a dipole out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can crimp on that shield, and you can solder to the center because it is copper. So, oh, that's another thing too. The copper in 75 ohm coax is typically a higher quality, and therefore has a lower velocity factor than lower in a better way velocity factor than our 50 ohm stuff because there's so much of it. There's anyway.
Oh, and you mentioned the primary applications are 3 gigahertz and higher, and so they've got to have that coefficiency and all other stuff to be able to make the cable work efficiently for them.
It's really like when you take a 75 ohm cable and you cut it open and you just start examining it, and it all comes to you when you look at it. It's some high spec stuff. Like the quad shield, it's high spec. So
good stuff.
I think it feels like robbing the bank every time I use it. Because I'm getting away with it every time.
Well, this might become a trend. It'd be kind of cool to see this all of a sudden, this big giant 75 ohm movement.
Ted says this is therapy for all of us. Thanks, Ted.
It is. It's good stuff, man. Cool.
That's all I got.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. It was definitely good, and we definitely want to have you on again because I know Paul seems to be throwing down the knowledge here. He's lining up all these, smarter people than us, and leaving us in kind of a daze after we're all done. But it's awesome stuff for sure.
I can't be the only one that feels dumb on this show.
Well, but that's kind of your claim to fame. Like, I am not going to admit it. You're already doing it for me. I don't have to step into that gap. It's already there.
Mike makes a good point about getting outside of our comfort zone. I mean, besides me being absolutely insane, and I love to ruffle, feathers in our community sometimes, because I think that's kind of what really drives innovation. He says, and of course I just lost it. He says, whether it's with different antennas and feed lines and etc. And like I was saying earlier, I think it's great to experiment with our feed line, right? There's no experimentation with our feed line in our hobby. We're taught that it's supposed to be this like transparent tunnel from point A to point B, and we more often than not end up using our feed line as part of our antenna system unintentionally because of common mode radiating off the shield. So there's kind of this whole other world of antennas that you really don't understand that you're playing with until you start realizing that RF's gonna RF, and that's what I love to say to people. RF gonna RF, dude.
I'm just waiting for Mike to spout out that that's another T-shirt coming, but
let's do it. Yeah.
RF gonna RF.
It's going, and also electrons are lazy, so they want to find the easiest path to get and do whatever they want to do, and common mode is definitely a problem for a lot of hams, and a lot of hams don't understand. I personally, I don't bond anything to Earth, or I don't tie grounds together or shields or anything. Everything about my radio, everything is all what I call floating. So I don't give it the opportunity to run through my house's electrical system. I don't give it the opportunity to go find other, possibly better places to lose RF energy like Earth. Why would I want to dump, any RF energy into Earth? All the floating RF energy is good RF energy. That means it's doing this.
It's going out instead of down.
Yeah.
That's the way you want it.
All right.
Cool. All right. Well, just to kind of wrap things up, if hey, you gleaned some good stuff from this, obviously head on over to Discord and let us know if you get some more questions. But can folks reach out to you, Ziggy, directly if they got more 75 ohm style questions or want to get a hold of your choke or anything like that?
Yeah. It's 75ohmham at Gmail. So 75ohmham at Gmail.
Cool.
Just like that, guys.
Awesome. Well, we'll put that in the description below. So if you want to reach out to Ziggy directly, if you got a question or you want to get a hold of anything, or there's something.
Anything.
He's the man.
Hit me up.
And dude, we'd love to have you back on again. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's going to start to spur on a bunch of other questions, and people are start chit chatting as it always happens with the show. So we'll definitely, we'll circle back around. I'm sure there'll be a boatload of more, and I'm sure Mike's itching at the bit to come on and talk antennas. That seems to be his thing too, as well. So it's good to have him always throw in a little zinger here or there.
So next week, just to throw this out there, next week, right? The software that Ziggy was using, we're going to do like a Mana for Dummies kind of thing with Hollywood. So
sweet.
It's going to be good. We're gonna model some antennas. We're gonna kind of go through the basics of that software that Ziggy uses. So everybody kind of gets a better understanding of how to use it.
Oh, dude, we're going to actually do some real ham radio. My gosh, this is crazy. Will we be able to handle it? Who knows? Stay tuned.
And drop.
Yeah, right, exactly. Cut is where Mike would drop. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that was awesome stuff as always. Thank you again for coming on and hanging out with us tonight, Ziggy, and all those that were in the chat tonight. It was definitely good. Thank you again for all the great questions. It was very fun and very comical, Ted. Thank you for holding up Mike's part of the deal there tonight, because I knew he stepped away and just blatantly turned over the keys to the kingdom and left you with nothing, no instructions. So great job there, Ted. But with that, if you were listening on the podcast, again, thank you again for joining and living and listening to the Live Free and Ham podcast and being part of our community. We all truly appreciate it, and we definitely love everyone who supports the show, and can't thank you guys enough for sure. So as always, if you want to connect with us, head over on our Discord, pick up that conversation there. If we start having more of that, we can definitely learn from each other and continue to grow, as Mike says, and learn more about the world of coax that has been such a mysterious thing for all of us, for sure.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it, Ziggy. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us via our support voicemail number at 978-233-1142. And if you want to support the show, you know where to do that with our Patreon and Buy Us a Beer links. And as always, thanks again for listening. Oh my gosh, I got a bubble in the throat. From all of us, Live Free and Ham 7-3, folks.
75s.
Yeah, exactly. Now, dude, my gosh, there's so many freaking numbers. 88s, why not? Let's throw it out there too. With that.